There's a certain kind of person that others simply don't dare disrespect. Not because they're loud, not because they're aggressive, not because they threaten anyone. It's something quieter than that, something far more powerful. It's a presence that says, without a single word, do not test me. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to build that same quiet, unshakable power within yourself, the kind that makes disrespect feel almost impossible for anyone who dares to try it. Let's start with something most people misunderstand completely. Real power isn't loud. It doesn't need to shout, threaten, or prove itself through anger. The people who carry the most powerful presence, the ones others instinctively hesitate to disrespect, almost always carry a quiet, grounded energy instead. This is the first thing you need to understand about self-respect and quiet power. It comes from within, not from external displays of dominance or control. Think about people you've encountered in your own life who commanded respect without ever raising their voice. There's usually something calm about them, a steadiness that doesn't waver even in tense situations. This calmness isn't weakness, it's actually one of the strongest signals a person can send. It tells everyone around them, I am secure enough in myself that your behavior doesn't shake me. And that security is exactly what makes people think twice before crossing certain lines. On the other hand, think about people who react strongly to every slight, every disrespectful comment, every minor provocation. While their reactions might seem powerful in the moment, loud, dramatic, intense, this kind of energy often signals the opposite of true strength. It shows that their emotional state can be easily controlled by someone else's words or actions. Ironically, this makes them more likely to continue experiencing disrespect, because their reactions confirm that pushing their buttons actually works. This is why quiet power starts with mastering your own emotional stability. Before you can expect others to respect you, you need to develop an internal sense of calm and self-assurance that doesn't depend on how others treat you. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about developing genuine inner security so that external disrespect doesn't have the same destabilizing effect it once did. Building this kind of internal stability takes practice. It starts with self-awareness, noticing when you feel triggered, understanding why certain comments or behaviors provoke strong reactions in you, and gradually working to strengthen your sense of self-worth from within, rather than depending on others' approval or good behavior to feel secure. As this internal foundation strengthens, something remarkable begins to happen. People start noticing a subtle shift in your energy, calmer, steadier, less easily shaken. And this shift alone, even before any specific action or boundary is set, begins changing how people approach and treat you, often without either of you fully realizing why. Now let's talk about something equally important. Understanding that self-respect isn't something you demand from others, it's something you build within yourself first, and then simply reflect outward through your actions and choices. Many people mistakenly believe that self-respect means constantly proving your worth to others, correcting every misunderstanding, defending every decision, or seeking validation that you deserve to be treated well. But real self-respect works in the opposite direction. It starts with how you treat yourself, the standards you hold for your own behavior, the boundaries you maintain regardless of outside pressure, and the consistency between what you say you value and how you actually live. Think about what it truly means to respect yourself. It means not tolerating behavior that violates your own values, even when it would be easier to stay silent. It means honoring your own time, energy, and emotional well-being rather than constantly sacrificing them to please others. It means speaking to yourself with the same kindness and patience you would offer someone you deeply care about, rather than harsh self-criticism or constant self-doubt. When self-respect becomes genuinely internalized, something interesting happens. You stop needing external validation to feel secure in your worth. You stop explaining yourself excessively to people who were never going to understand or respect your choices anyway. You start making decisions based on what aligns with your own values, rather than what will earn approval or avoid conflict with others. This internal shift naturally changes how you show up in every interaction. When someone attempts disrespect, you're no longer operating from a place of insecurity, desperately needing them to see your worth. Instead, you're operating from a place of quiet confidence, already knowing your own worth, regardless of whether they choose to acknowledge or respect it. This difference is subtle, but incredibly powerful, because people can sense whether your confidence depends on their approval or whether it exists independently of their opinion entirely. Building this kind of self-respect requires consistent practice, particularly in small, everyday moments. Choosing to speak up when something feels wrong, rather than staying silent to avoid discomfort. Choosing to maintain a boundary, even when it feels uncomfortable in the moment. Choosing to walk away from situations that violate your values, rather than staying simply to avoid conflict or disappointment. As you continue strengthening this internal foundation of self-respect, you'll notice a natural transformation in how you carry yourself, and consequently, in how others begin to treat you as well. Not because you're demanding respect loudly, but because your own quiet, consistent self-respect naturally commands it. Let's talk now about something crucial: understanding the specific difference between fear-based respect and genuine respect. Because building quiet power isn't about intimidating people into treating you well. It's about naturally commanding respect through authentic strength and self-assurance. Fear-based respect often comes from aggression, intimidation, or manipulation, forcing people to comply out of anxiety or self-preservation, rather than genuine admiration or regard. This kind of respect might work temporarily, but it's fragile, built on control rather than authentic connection, and it often creates resentment or hidden hostility beneath the surface, rather than true respect. Genuine respect, the kind we're discussing throughout this video, works completely differently. It comes from people recognizing your authentic strength, your consistency, your calm confidence, and your clear boundaries. Not because they're afraid of consequences, but because they genuinely admire and value these qualities in you. This type of respect is far more stable and lasting because it's rooted in authentic character, rather than manipulation or intimidation. One clear way to distinguish between these two types of respect involves examining how people behave around you when you're not directly enforcing boundaries or consequences. If people only treat you well because they fear immediate punishment or confrontation, that's fear-based compliance, not genuine respect. But if people naturally choose to treat you well, even in situations where you have no direct power over the outcome, simply because they've come to genuinely respect your character and presence, that's authentic, quiet power at work. Building this authentic respect requires consistency between your words and actions over time. It requires demonstrating genuine strength, not through aggression, but through calm reliability, honesty, and unwavering personal integrity, even when no one is specifically watching or testing you. People notice this consistency over time, gradually building genuine respect and admiration rather than temporary compliance driven by fear or intimidation. It's also important to remember that genuine respect often takes longer to build than fear-based compliance. Intimidation can create immediate results, quick, forced compliance out of anxiety. But authentic respect develops gradually, through consistent demonstration of your character, values, and quiet strength over repeated interactions and experiences. This patience is worth the investment because authentic respect creates far more meaningful, stable, and lasting relationships than fear-based compliance ever could. As you continue building this quiet, authentic power within yourself, remember that the goal isn't to make people afraid of you. It's to become someone whose calm strength and consistent character naturally commands genuine respect and admiration, rather than temporary fear-driven compliance. Let's talk now about something powerful: understanding how your body language and physical presence communicate quiet power, often before you even speak a single word. Human beings are incredibly perceptive when it comes to reading nonverbal cues, posture, eye contact, tone of voice, even the pace at which someone moves or speaks. Long before someone consciously decides how to treat you, their subconscious mind is already picking up on subtle signals from your physical presence, signals that either invite disrespect or naturally discourage it. Think about how differently people carry themselves when they feel secure and confident compared to when they feel anxious or uncertain. Confident, secure people often maintain steady eye contact without staring aggressively. They speak at a calm, measured pace without rushing nervously through their words. They maintain open, relaxed posture rather than shrinking, fidgeting, or making themselves physically smaller in social situations. These subtle physical signals communicate quiet strength and self-assurance, often more powerfully than words ever could. On the other hand, people who feel anxious, insecure, or uncertain often unconsciously communicate this through their body language. avoiding eye contact, speaking quickly or nervously, adopting closed, defensive postures, or unconsciously making themselves appear smaller or less noticeable. While these behaviors are completely natural responses to insecurity, they can unfortunately signal vulnerability to others, sometimes even attracting disrespect from people who unconsciously sense an easier target. Developing quiet power involves becoming aware of these physical signals and gradually practicing more grounded, confident body language, even during moments when you might feel nervous or uncertain internally. This doesn't mean forcing exaggerated confidence or aggressive body language. It means practicing calm, steady posture, maintaining natural eye contact, speaking at a measured pace, and allowing yourself to take up space comfortably, rather than physically shrinking away from attention or interaction. This practice takes time and conscious effort, especially if you're naturally more introverted, shy, or accustomed to minimizing your presence in social situations. Start small, practicing steady eye contact during conversations, speaking slightly slower and more deliberately, or simply standing and sitting with open, relaxed posture rather than closed, defensive positioning. As you continue practicing these subtle physical adjustments, you'll likely notice a gradual shift in how people respond to your presence, even before you say anything specific about boundaries or self-respect. This quiet physical confidence naturally reinforces the internal work you're doing, creating a powerful combination of authentic inner security and outward physical presence that together communicate clearly, without a single word, that you are someone who commands genuine respect. Let's talk now about something essential: the power of silence and restraint. Understanding when not speaking or reacting immediately becomes far more powerful than any words you could offer in the moment. Many people mistakenly believe that responding quickly, defending themselves immediately, or explaining their side of a situation right away demonstrates strength and confidence. But often the opposite is actually true. Quiet power frequently comes from restraint, choosing not to react immediately, allowing silence to create space, rather than rushing to fill every uncomfortable moment with explanation or defense. Think about situations where someone says something disrespectful or provocative, hoping for an immediate emotional reaction. When you respond instantly, especially with anger, frustration, or lengthy justification, you're often giving them exactly what they were seeking: confirmation that their words affected you deeply. But when you pause, allowing silence to fill that space instead, you communicate something entirely different: calm, unaffected strength that isn't easily shaken by provocation. This doesn't mean staying silent about everything or avoiding necessary conversations altogether. It means developing discernment, recognizing which situations actually require an immediate response and which ones benefit more from thoughtful silence or delayed reaction. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every provocation requires immediate defense. Sometimes the most powerful response is simply choosing not to engage at all, allowing your silence to speak louder than any words could. Restraint also applies to situations involving criticism or judgment from others. Instead of immediately defending yourself against every critical comment, practicing restraint means pausing, evaluating whether the criticism holds any genuine truth worth reflecting on, and only responding if truly necessary, rather than reacting defensively out of immediate emotional discomfort. This restraint demonstrates emotional maturity and quiet confidence, rather than the need for immediate validation or self-justification. Developing this skill requires practice, particularly in situations where your natural instinct might be to react quickly. Start by consciously pausing before responding to challenging or provocative situations, allowing yourself time to process internally before deciding whether and how to respond. Over time, this pause becomes a natural habit, strengthening your ability to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively in nearly every situation you encounter. As you continue practicing this quiet restraint, you'll likely notice people around you naturally becoming more thoughtful and careful in how they interact with you, sensing that provocation or disrespect won't easily disturb your calm, controlled presence, further reinforcing the quiet power you're consistently building within yourself. Let's talk now about something important: understanding how clarity and directness, when used calmly, become powerful tools for reinforcing your quiet strength, especially in situations where silence alone isn't enough. While we've discussed the power of restraint and silence, There are also moments where clear, direct communication becomes necessary to reinforce your boundaries and self-respect. The key here is combining directness with calm composure, rather than allowing directness to become confused with aggression or hostility. Quiet power isn't about avoiding difficult conversations entirely, it's about approaching them with clarity, confidence, and emotional control. When a situation genuinely requires you to address disrespectful behavior directly, practice stating your perspective clearly and calmly without unnecessary emotional escalation. For example, rather than reacting with anger or extensive justification, simply and calmly stating, "I won't tolerate being spoken to this way," communicates your boundary clearly, without inviting further conflict or debate. This kind of direct, calm communication often catches people off guard, especially those accustomed to more emotional, reactive responses. When you communicate your boundaries clearly and calmly, without excessive explanation or emotional intensity, it becomes much harder for others to argue, manipulate, or dismiss your position. Your calm clarity leaves little room for further debate or manipulation. It's also important to practice directness without over-explaining or justifying your boundaries excessively. Often people feel the need to provide lengthy explanations or justifications for their boundaries, hoping this will help others understand and accept them more easily. But excessive explanation can sometimes weaken your position, opening the door for further argument or manipulation. Instead, practice stating your boundary clearly and directly, without extensive justification, trusting that your clarity alone communicates your seriousness and confidence. Developing this skill of calm, clear directness takes practice, especially if you're naturally inclined toward over-explaining or seeking validation for your boundaries. Start by practicing simple, direct statements in less intense situations, gradually building your confidence and comfort with clear communication, so that when more challenging situations arise, you're prepared to communicate your boundaries calmly and directly, without unnecessary escalation or extensive justification. As you continue strengthening this skill, you'll notice a powerful combination emerging: calm restraint in situations where silence serves you best, paired with clear, confident directness in situations that genuinely require addressing disrespect directly. Together, these skills reinforce your overall presence of quiet power, ensuring that people clearly understand your boundaries without you needing to raise your voice, argue extensively, or engage in unnecessary emotional conflict. Let's talk now about something powerful: understanding how consistency between your words and actions builds a reputation of quiet strength that precedes you, even in situations or relationships where you haven't yet directly established boundaries. One of the most powerful aspects of quiet power comes from consistency, ensuring that your actions genuinely align with your words over time. When people observe that you consistently follow through on what you say, whether it's maintaining boundaries, keeping commitments, or staying true to your values even under pressure, they naturally develop a deeper level of respect and caution around testing your limits. This consistency creates what we might call a quiet reputation, an unspoken understanding among people who know you that you're someone who means what you say and follows through accordingly. This reputation often precedes direct interactions, meaning new people you meet may already sense, through others' behavior or subtle social cues, that you're not someone who tolerates disrespect easily. Building this consistent reputation requires patience and genuine commitment to your own values and boundaries over time. It's not something that develops overnight, but rather through repeated instances of calm, confident behavior, consistently maintaining your boundaries, following through on your word, and demonstrating steady, reliable character across various situations and relationships. This consistency also means avoiding empty threats or boundaries you don't genuinely intend to enforce. If you frequently state boundaries or consequences without actually following through, people quickly learn that your words carry little weight, undermining the very quiet power you're working to build. Instead, practice stating only boundaries you're genuinely committed to maintaining, ensuring that your words and actions remain consistently aligned. Over time, this consistent alignment between your words and actions becomes deeply recognized, both by people who interact with you regularly, and often indirectly by others who hear about your reputation through mutual connections or observed interactions. This quiet consistency naturally discourages disrespect, not through direct confrontation or intimidation, but through a clear, unspoken understanding that you are someone whose boundaries and values remain steady and reliable, regardless of external pressure or provocation. As you continue building this consistent reputation through your everyday actions and interactions, you'll likely notice a natural reduction in disrespectful behavior directed toward you, not because you've become more aggressive or confrontational, but because your consistent, quiet strength has become clearly recognized and respected, both by those who know you personally and by others who simply sense this quiet power through your calm, steady presence. Let's talk now about something crucial: understanding how emotional independence, no longer relying on others' approval or validation for your sense of worth, becomes one of the strongest foundations for quiet power. Many people unconsciously give away their emotional power by constantly seeking validation, approval, or reassurance from others. This creates vulnerability, because your emotional stability becomes dependent on external factors you can't fully control, other people's opinions, moods, or behaviors. When your sense of worth depends heavily on external validation, it becomes much easier for others to disrupt your emotional stability through disrespect, criticism, or manipulation. Emotional independence means shifting this dynamic, building your sense of worth and stability from within, rather than depending primarily on external validation. This doesn't mean you stop caring about relationships or connections with others. It means your fundamental sense of self-worth no longer hinges entirely on whether others approve of you, agree with you, or treat you with respect. Developing this emotional independence requires consistent self-reflection and practice. Start by noticing situations where you find yourself seeking excessive validation or approval, whether through people-pleasing behavior, constantly checking how others perceive you, or feeling destabilized by criticism or disagreement. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward gradually building stronger emotional independence. Practice affirming your own worth internally, rather than relying solely on external sources for validation. This might involve regularly reminding yourself of your own values, strengths, and accomplishments, independent of how others perceive or acknowledge them. Over time, this internal validation becomes stronger and more stable, reducing your dependency on external approval to maintain your emotional equilibrium. This emotional independence also means becoming comfortable with occasional disagreement, disapproval, or misunderstanding from others, without this destabilizing your overall sense of self-worth. Not everyone will always understand, agree with, or approve of your choices, and learning to remain secure in yourself despite this reality significantly strengthens your quiet power and resilience. As you continue developing this emotional independence, you'll notice a significant reduction in how much power others' opinions or behaviors hold over your emotional stability. This doesn't mean you become indifferent or emotionally distant from meaningful relationships. It means you develop a stronger, more stable emotional foundation, one that naturally reinforces your quiet strength and self-respect, regardless of external circumstances or other people's reactions toward you. Let's talk now about something important: understanding how choosing your battles wisely, rather than reacting to every single provocation, actually strengthens your overall presence of quiet power. Many people mistakenly believe that quiet power means addressing every single instance of disrespect immediately and directly. But true quiet power often involves discernment, recognizing which situations genuinely require direct confrontation and which ones are better handled through calm indifference or strategic non-engagement. Not every disrespectful comment, minor provocation, or passive-aggressive behavior requires a direct response. In fact, responding to every minor provocation can actually weaken your presence, making you appear reactive or easily provoked, rather than calm and secure. Learning to discern which situations genuinely warrant direct address and which ones are better left unacknowledged becomes an essential skill in building quiet power. Consider the difference between someone making an occasional minor comment that doesn't significantly impact you, versus someone repeatedly and intentionally disrespecting your boundaries in ways that genuinely affect your well-being or relationships. The first situation might be best addressed through calm indifference, simply not giving it the attention or reaction the other person might be seeking. The second situation likely requires direct, clear communication, addressing the pattern of behavior directly and firmly. This discernment requires self-awareness and emotional regulation, recognizing your own triggers and reactions and consciously choosing when engagement is genuinely necessary, versus when calm non-reaction serves your interests more effectively. Over time, this selective engagement becomes a powerful demonstration of quiet strength, showing that you're not easily provoked by every minor irritation, while still maintaining clear boundaries around behavior that genuinely crosses important lines. It's also helpful to remember that constantly reacting to every provocation can be emotionally exhausting, draining your energy unnecessarily on situations that don't significantly impact your overall well-being. By choosing your battles wisely, you conserve your emotional energy for situations that genuinely matter, while allowing minor, insignificant provocations to pass without unnecessary engagement or reaction. As you continue practicing this selective engagement, choosing calm indifference for minor provocations, while reserving direct, clear communication for genuinely significant boundary violations, you'll notice your overall presence naturally reflecting greater confidence, emotional stability, and quiet strength, further reinforcing the respect and consideration others extend toward you over time. Let's talk now about something powerful: understanding how self-discipline and personal integrity, consistently doing what you say you'll do, and living according to your own values, become foundational pillars of genuine quiet power. Self-discipline might seem unrelated to how others treat you, but it's actually deeply connected to the quiet power we've been discussing throughout this video. When you consistently practice self-discipline, following through on your own commitments, maintaining healthy habits, and staying true to your personal values even when it's difficult, you naturally build a deep sense of internal strength and self-respect that becomes evident to others, even without direct explanation or announcement. This happens because self-discipline reflects genuine self-respect in action. When you consistently honor your own commitments to yourself, whether it's maintaining healthy boundaries, pursuing personal growth, or simply following through on daily habits and responsibilities, you reinforce your own sense of worth and capability. This internal reinforcement naturally strengthens your overall confidence and presence, making it more difficult for others to disrespect or undermine your boundaries. Personal integrity, living consistently according to your own values and principles, regardless of external pressure or convenience, also plays a crucial role in building quiet power. When people observe that you consistently act according to your stated values, even in situations where it might be easier or more convenient to compromise, they naturally develop deeper respect and trust in your character. This consistency between your values and actions creates a powerful, quiet reputation over time. People begin to recognize that you're not someone who compromises your principles easily or bends under pressure to please others at the expense of your own integrity. This recognition naturally discourages attempts at manipulation or disrespect, since people intuitively sense that such behavior is unlikely to succeed against someone with strong, consistent personal integrity. Building this self-discipline and integrity requires consistent daily practice, small, everyday choices that align with your values and long-term goals, rather than succumbing to short-term convenience or external pressure. This might involve maintaining healthy habits even when motivation is low, keeping promises to yourself and others consistently, or making difficult decisions that align with your integrity even when easier, less principled options are available. As you continue strengthening your self-discipline and personal integrity, you'll notice a natural deepening of your overall quiet power and presence. This isn't about becoming rigid or inflexible, but about consistently honoring your own values and commitments, creating a stable, trustworthy character that naturally commands respect and discourages disrespect from those around you. Let's talk now about something essential: understanding how releasing the need to be liked by everyone becomes one of the most liberating and empowering steps toward building genuine quiet power. Many people unconsciously spend enormous energy trying to be liked by everyone around them, adjusting their behavior, opinions, or boundaries to avoid disappointing others or creating conflict. While wanting positive relationships is completely natural, this constant need for universal approval often becomes a significant obstacle to building genuine self-respect and quiet power. Here's an important truth to understand: not everyone will like you, respect you, or agree with you, no matter how kind, fair, or consistent you are. This isn't a reflection of your worth or character. It's simply an inevitable reality of human relationships and differing perspectives, values, and personalities. Attempting to be universally liked often requires compromising your own boundaries, values, or authentic self, ultimately weakening rather than strengthening your overall presence and self-respect. Releasing this need for universal approval allows you to make decisions and set boundaries based on your own values and well-being, rather than constantly worrying about how every single person might react or perceive you. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent to how you treat others, or disregarding genuine feedback and criticism. It means recognizing that occasional disapproval or disagreement from others doesn't require you to compromise your authentic self or abandon your boundaries. This shift often feels uncomfortable initially, especially if you're accustomed to prioritizing others' approval over your own needs and values. But as you practice releasing this need, you'll likely notice a significant increase in your overall confidence and quiet power. You become more decisive, more authentic, and more consistent in your boundaries, precisely because you're no longer constantly adjusting yourself based on fear of disapproval or conflict. It's also important to recognize that people who genuinely respect and value you will continue doing so, even when you set boundaries or express opinions they might not fully agree with. Releasing the need for universal approval often naturally filters out relationships based primarily on your willingness to please others, while strengthening relationships built on genuine mutual respect and authentic connection. As you continue practicing this release of universal approval seeking, you'll notice a profound shift in your overall confidence, authenticity, and quiet power. This freedom from needing everyone's approval becomes one of the most significant foundations for genuine self-respect, allowing you to move through life with greater clarity, confidence, and unwavering authenticity, regardless of others' opinions or reactions. Let's talk now about something powerful, understanding how your relationship with failure and mistakes significantly impacts your overall sense of quiet power and self-respect. Many people mistakenly believe that quiet power requires never making mistakes, always appearing confident, competent, and in control. But this misunderstanding often leads to unnecessary anxiety, perfectionism, or fear of failure, ultimately weakening rather than strengthening genuine self-respect and quiet confidence. Real quiet power actually involves developing a healthy, secure relationship with your own mistakes and failures, rather than avoiding them entirely or reacting to them with harsh self-criticism. When you make a mistake or face failure in some area of your life, how you respond internally significantly impacts your overall confidence and presence. Reacting with excessive self-criticism, shame, or anxiety often weakens your internal sense of security, making you more vulnerable to external validation seeking or emotional instability. But responding to mistakes with self-compassion, viewing them as natural, valuable learning experiences rather than reflections of your inherent worth, actually strengthens your overall resilience and quiet confidence. This healthy relationship with failure allows you to take genuine risks, pursue meaningful goals, and engage authentically with life, without being paralyzed by fear of making mistakes or facing setbacks. People who have developed this healthy relationship with failure often display a particular kind of quiet confidence, not because they never fail, but because they've learned that failure doesn't diminish their fundamental worth or capability. Developing this healthy relationship with mistakes requires consistent practice, particularly around how you speak to yourself internally when things don't go as planned. Instead of harsh self-criticism, practice speaking to yourself with the same patience and understanding you would offer a close friend facing a similar situation. This shift in internal dialogue gradually builds greater emotional resilience and self-respect over time. It's also helpful to recognize that people who project genuine quiet power aren't people who never struggle or fail. They're people who have learned to navigate struggles and failures with grace, self-compassion, and continued self-respect, rather than allowing setbacks to completely destabilize their sense of worth or confidence. As you continue developing this healthier relationship with failure and mistakes, you'll notice a significant strengthening of your overall quiet power and resilience. This isn't about becoming immune to disappointment or difficulty. It's about developing genuine internal security, one that remains stable and strong even during moments of failure, mistakes, or unexpected setbacks along your journey. Let's talk now about something important, understanding how the environment and people you surround yourself with significantly influence your ability to develop and maintain genuine quiet power over time. While much of this journey involves internal work, developing self-respect, emotional independence, and consistent boundaries, your external environment also plays a significant role in either supporting or undermining this growth. Surrounding yourself with people who consistently disrespect boundaries, discourage your growth, or create toxic, chaotic environments makes it significantly more challenging to maintain the calm, consistent, quiet power you're working to build. This doesn't necessarily mean completely removing every challenging person from your life, but it does mean becoming more intentional about who you allow close access to your emotional energy and daily environment. Surrounding yourself as much as possible with people who respect boundaries, support genuine growth, and demonstrate similar values around self-respect and emotional maturity creates a much healthier foundation for maintaining your own quiet power consistently over time. It's also helpful to recognize how certain environments, whether workplace culture, family dynamics, or social circles, might either reinforce old patterns of seeking approval and avoiding conflict, or support healthier patterns of clear boundaries and authentic self-expression. Being mindful of these environmental influences allows you to make more intentional choices about where and how you invest your time and energy. This doesn't mean isolating yourself from all challenging relationships or environments. Sometimes navigating difficult family dynamics, workplace situations, or social circles requires ongoing practice of your quiet power skills, precisely because these environments provide valuable opportunities to strengthen your boundaries and emotional resilience. However, it's important to balance these challenging environments with supportive relationships and spaces that reinforce your growth, rather than existing entirely within environments that constantly test or undermine your progress. Building supportive relationships also involves reciprocity, becoming the kind of person who respects others' boundaries, supports their growth, and demonstrates the same emotional maturity and quiet strength you're cultivating within yourself. This mutual respect and support creates healthier relationship dynamics overall, reinforcing your quiet power through genuine connection rather than constant challenge or conflict. As you continue becoming more intentional about your environment and relationships, you'll likely notice your quiet power becoming easier to maintain consistently, supported by relationships and environments that reinforce, rather than undermine, the genuine self-respect and emotional maturity you've worked hard to develop throughout this journey. Let's talk now about something essential: understanding that quiet power isn't a destination you reach once and maintain forever, but rather an ongoing practice that requires consistent attention and intentional effort throughout your life. Many people mistakenly believe that once they've developed self-respect, emotional independence, and consistent boundaries, this quiet power becomes permanent, requiring no further conscious effort or attention. But like any meaningful skill or personal quality, quiet power requires ongoing practice and reinforcement, particularly during challenging periods, significant life transitions, or interactions with especially difficult individuals or situations. This means recognizing that occasional setbacks, moments where you react more emotionally than intended, situations where you struggle to maintain boundaries consistently, or periods where external validation seeking temporarily resurfaces, are completely normal parts of this ongoing journey, rather than signs of failure or regression. Quiet power develops through consistent practice over time, not through achieving permanent, flawless mastery. Regularly checking in with yourself, reflecting on situations where you successfully maintained your boundaries and calm composure, as well as situations where you struggled or reacted differently than intended, helps reinforce your ongoing growth and awareness. This reflection isn't about harsh self-judgment, but about maintaining conscious awareness of your progress, patterns, and areas where continued practice might be beneficial. It's also helpful to remember that different life circumstances and relationships might present new challenges to your quiet power over time. A new job, a significant relationship change, unexpected life transitions, or particularly difficult individuals you encounter might require you to reapply and reinforce these skills in new ways, rather than assuming your previous progress automatically applies perfectly to every new situation you encounter. This ongoing nature of quiet power isn't discouraging, it's actually empowering, because it means continued growth and refinement remain possible throughout your entire life. Each new challenge or difficult situation becomes an opportunity to further strengthen and refine your quiet power, rather than a sign that your previous progress was somehow insufficient or incomplete. As you continue this ongoing journey, remind yourself that quiet power isn't about achieving permanent perfection, it's about consistent, intentional practice, patience with yourself during setbacks, and continued commitment to your own self-respect. emotional independence, and authentic boundaries. Regardless of how many years or experiences you've already invested in this important, lifelong personal growth journey. As we come to the end of this journey together, let's bring everything full circle. Genuine quiet power was never about intimidation, aggression, or forcing others to fear you. It's about building deep, authentic self-respect from within, developing emotional independence that doesn't rely on external validation, and consistently living according to your own values and boundaries, regardless of external pressure or provocation. You've learned that true strength speaks through calm composure rather than loud reaction, through consistent actions rather than empty words, and through genuine self-respect rather than desperate need for approval. You've learned how your body language, your restraint, your discernment in choosing battles, and your relationship with failure all contribute to this powerful, quiet presence that naturally commands respect. Most importantly, you've learned that this journey isn't about reaching a final destination where you become permanently untouchable or invulnerable. It's about consistent, ongoing practice, patience with yourself during setbacks, and continued commitment to honoring your own worth, values, and boundaries throughout every season of your life. Moving forward, carry this understanding with you into every relationship, every challenge, every moment where disrespect attempts to test your boundaries. Stay calm, stay consistent. Stay true to your own values regardless of how others choose to behave around you. This quiet, steady strength, built patiently over time, will continue transforming not just how others treat you, but how deeply you understand and respect your own worth. If this video gave you clarity, strength, or a deeper understanding of your own quiet power, take a moment right now. Like this video, so it reaches someone else who genuinely needs to hear this today. Subscribe to this channel, because this is only the beginning of the wisdom we'll continue exploring together. And leave a comment below, sharing which part of this video resonated with you the most. I read every single one. This has been Master Shen. Stay quiet, stay powerful, and I'll see you in the next one.